There we go. So how do I add Tosha? Okay. Yes. All right. Tosha. So I think I invite her. One second. If you're watching this video later on and you're like wondering what is she doing, I am waiting for the guest. She's coming. So when she comes on, I think she requests, this is the first time that I'm doing this this live with someone else. Next time I'll be definitely prepared. But I'm loving it. So I'm just waiting for Tosha again. Tosha, are you here? Okay, there you go. Okay. This is so adorable. I love this. I love this. Okay, adding her. Tosha, she's coming.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Make sure my
awesome.
ears good.
You are so cute.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, how have you been?
I've been okay. I've been pretty good.
I feel
I
like I
have to
have.
sit by my bed because my phone's on the charger.
Oh, okay. I feel like I have not seen you in 10 years. That's what it feels
It's
like.
been almost that long. It's been since like um 2011, I
Wow.
believe.
I'm
The
sorry.
last time I saw you, I came to your book launch. I believe it was.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have to do better. We're going to get better. I'm just making sure that I have. Hey, Mara J. Hey, beautiful. How are you? I'm just making sure
Hello,
that
guys.
everything is right. And this is going to be at then once I upload this video to share it again, I think it's gonna look crazy because I was talking into the camera and I'm like, what are you doing? But I mean, we get this together.
Hi,
Mara,
Ebony. My friends are tuning in. I meant
hey,
to say you look beautiful as always. You haven't aged a bit. You still look the same.
42, and it
Hi,
feels
Yama.
amazing. Amen. Myra, you're going to love, love, love this what we're getting ready to talk about. I promise you, you're gonna get ready to love. I just want to share this and then I'm sorry. Oh, this is a delay. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. What do I
So, where are you located now? Because you've been everywhere, changing the world and doing inspiring things. I've been watching.
right now I am in Charlotte.
Okay.
Um, so I've been here for 2 years now, I believe. So
Really?
yeah, I've been here for
So,
two
you've
years.
been in North Carolina when I was in North Carolina last year. I didn't know
You
that. I was in Fayetteville. I actually came to visit Charlotte about 2 years ago as well.
were you living
No, I was contemplating a relationship that
here?
didn't
Okay,
work out,
okay,
buying a
okay,
house and all, but
okay.
that was a learning experience.
Everything is a learning experience. Everything works together for good. All things work together for good. So it's all a learning process. And for you, you come from the same type of childhood that many of us, that's connected to us, come from. And so we were not
Right,
taught how to be in a relationship. We wasn't taught how to pinpoint the type of man that is for us. Although you were blessed to have that at one point, but
right,
and I can understand in your situation, you're just was looking for something because it's been, and we're getting ready to talk about that. Like your
Talk
story,
about it.
it's
Let's
your
talk about
story.
it.
I mean,
Let's inspire someone tonight.
exactly your story. Like I want to share. I mean, I want to go from the beginning. I want to just before we even go to that valley part, I want to talk about that moment you were on the mountain. I want to talk about your husband, who you like.
Okay.
How did you guys meet? Like, what is that? Tell, give us a little bit about that love story.
Okay. I was one of the first, I guess I can say, one of the few first, many, to do the online dating. Back in 2004. But it was
Oh,
before we had FaceTime and all this other things. We did webcam. And actually, you know what's so funny? I did not like him. I
oh,
was
what?
like, why is this guy in my inbox? Who is this country guy? His name was R. Phil Boy something something. I'm like, South Carolina something. It was during the time I just moved from New York City. So during that time, I was basically still had my city girl life going on. I wasn't ready to. And I wasn't over, honestly, I wasn't over an ex of mine. He really
Mhm.
broke my heart, and I was still dealing with that. And at 24, you're like, you're still stuck in that fairy tale love stage.
Yes,
So
yes.
anyway, I met him online. It was more we were talking over the phone or sending messages back and forth, and we webcam probably twice, probably two or three times, and it lasted for months before I met him, months and months and months. So I actually met him in January of 2005.
Wow.
So was it 2000? No, 2006. I'm sorry. So we met in 2005. I met him in 2006 of January. And when we met, he was just like, okay, we're going to Colombia. And I'm like, this is my first time meeting you. I'm not going 2 hours. But my friends, they're like, girl, go, girl, go, girl, go. So I
Mhm.
went. I met
Wow.
his mother, his father, his brothers, his sister-in-law, his kids, everybody the same day. And sometimes you got to take those chances.
Yes.
So
Yes.
following
Mhm.
weeks went by, and his brother just came back from Iraq. Oh, he was in Iraq at this time when I met him, to tell the story. He was deployed. So anyway, his brother just came back from Iraq, and he was having a cookout. He's like, I want you to come. So I'm living in Bluffton, South Carolina at the time, and he's like, I'm like, that's an hour and a half. I wasn't driving. He's like, I'll come pick you up. I'll get you a hotel. I'll just stay at my brother's. I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So, I went. I mingled with the family. He got me a hotel.
Wow.
Right? So I'm
I
checking in,
know.
and I'm thinking he's leaving. And so I go to close the door, and he just pushed my door. He's like, you know what? He said, you're not leaving out of my life. I was like, what? And all the grown stuff didn't happen. It went down. But it was like I known him. It's the body
Yes.
chemistry at that
That-
point was just like it was meant. It was just like, oh my God. So anyway,
Wow.
fast forward, 6 months later I became Mrs. Phillips.
I
We
never like.
got
I'm so glad. Hey, Tisha, how are you, beautiful soul sister? You're
hey.
next. You're next. I'm so like glad that I never knew how you all met. And so just before we even get to again to that valley moment, ladies, don't take men too, like don't, you know, take, like I don't want to do it that route, I don't want to do it that route. You never know what's meant for you. You never
We
know
gotta
what
take that
somebody's
chance.
inspired.
And
Wow.
I hope my friend logs in, Nakia. She was my roommate this time. I was staying with her. Um, she said, "Girl, go!" And I'm so happy she pushed me to go because um, we got married October 6th. That's why I always use October 6th as Love Day,
Um,
1006, and that's what inspired my nonprofit, 1006. We
wow.
got married October 6th. We had a courthouse wedding. We had on all pink, both of us. I did not receive a wedding ring until a year later because it was more about mortgages and car
Yeah,
payments. And I have a
exactly.
lot of friends like, you didn't even get a wedding ring. I said no. I said, but I
Yeah.
have more than that now. I have a
Wow.
husband. I have a love. I have this. That
Yeah,
wedding ring can wait.
exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So, I mean, met online, just talked online for a year. Then next year you meet each other and bam, bang, boom happens. And
Within
your hair
like
is done.
honestly, let me back up. I met him in January. By February, I think it was like February 15th. Like a little bit after his birthday, I moved in with him. I got a job on the military base. He just basically
Wow.
I moved in with him, and it was his history ever since. Don't get me wrong, it was challenging because I'm young. He's 6 years older
Mhm,
than me. He had two children. He had,
mhm,
he had a child's mother. He was, going through a divorce and everything like that. It was challenging. It was a learning experience for me, but it was the best experience I have
mhm.
ever felt, but,
Yeah,
at the same time, I found out I was sick in
yeah,
2007. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, June 11, 2007.
yeah,
And this time he was getting ready for deployment. And I'm like, "You gonna go?" I had surgery. The doctor said I could have died.
yeah.
He stood by my side. I had a colostomy bag. He sat
Mm,
there, helped me change it. He came to the hospital, right? Because it was during his family reunion. I'll never forget this. He came to the hospital. I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Conway, where he's having a family reunion at." So I was like, "Okay, you're gonna leave me here?" So the doctor said I was able to go, but I didn't. I
yeah.
was weak. I was hurting. I just had surgery. I had reconnection of everything. Stomach
Mhm.
split open. This man, um, he was like, "No, you're coming with me." He took me straight from the hospital. He packed my bags, and we went on this road trip 5 hours away from Savannah, Georgia,
Wow.
to Conway, South Carolina. I was sick, 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 so sick. When I got down there, I ended up going back in the hospital in Conway.
I can
But
only
I felt at
imagine.
that time, I was like, he wanted me with him. He was like, I
Yeah,
can't go and not take care of you. And
exactly.
that's exactly what he did. So, um, it was an experience. So fast forward, he basically he was preparing to deploy, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I had to have a second surgery. And I'm like, "No, don't go, don't go." I was like, "Stay." I was like, "You don't have to, you can use me as
Yeah. As
a
excuse to
reason to stay
stay.
back." He's like, "Well, I can't basically train my soldiers for war and not go, with them. It's selfish."
Yeah.
So he went. I
So
was
how long
mad.
was that? How long was that period? I mean, you being a stepmom. You didn't have any kids. You being a stepmom. You being a wife, and now you're trying to be a survivor because you're faced with this illness. How long was that time frame between you all getting married until he had to be
A
deployed to bring
year,
a year within a
like
year? So
within a year.
you had like what most people would do for 10 years, go through like in that type of time frame within 1 year. And so he
Correct.
leaves he leaves and goes to Iraq.
Yes.
And
So
you're
he
still
leaves and
sick.
goes to Iraq, and I'm like, "No, I'm just being the selfish military spouse. Don't go. Stay with me.
Mhm.
I need you to take care of me. Who's gonna be here?" I'm in Hinesville, Georgia, at Fort Stewart by myself, and basically, um, he went, and I
Wow.
healed. I was doing better, so I was preparing for him to come home a year later. I'm no, no, for R&R, which is like rest and relaxation. So
Mhm.
we're preparing for him to come home. I was surprising him. I knocked out the garage. I closed it up and knocked out the windows. I mean, knocked out the door, made windows, made him a little boom boom room. I did it.
Oh,
It's like his surprise. So when he came home, um, and basically deployment was good. It was scary. So it got to a point where casualties started happening, and I
mhm.
started getting scared. So I'm like emailing him, writing him, doing everything I had to do to make sure my baby was okay.
Mhm.
So then at the probably like 2 to 3 weeks, and like September 14th, I'll say that. That's the
Mhm.
day it happened. It was friendly casualty at this. So it was some guys that some soldiers that was basically got into it, and then the guy just pulled out a gun and started shooting. At this time, my husband was in the office. He wasn't in the field, so I'm like, oh, he's safe, he's good, yada yada yada. So he felt after this tragedy happened that he had to go back out there on the field to be with his guys. I'm like, is you stupid?
Yeah.
Don't go. I'm the
Mhm.
biggest don't go person. Like, you're safe where you're at. Don't go. Don't go out there. It's not safe. He's like, again, I can't train these guys to be out there. I feel like I'm not doing nothing. He said I have to basically be out there for my guy. Mention me in the comment. I have to be out there for my guys. So I'm like, okay. He goes, and
Mhm.
2 weeks later, we're chatting. Basically, we were planning a wedding because I never had a wedding, and we were
Yeah.
like, we're gonna do it. We lived down the street from a castle. We're gonna get a horse and carriage. He wanted 10 groomsmen. I was like 10 bridesmaids. It was just like it was
Fairy
astonishing,
tale.
I should say. And then our colors were purple and gold because those are my favorite colors. He was a big Lakers fan, so he agreed.
Oh wow.
And we're just he was coming home October 8th for R&R. And we're like, okay, we're gonna come home, we're gonna take the kids to Florida, we're gonna do XYZ, we're gonna have fun.
Mhm.
And we're just chatting, chatting. I go to sleep this particular night, September 24th. I'll never forget. I had a dream. And, my grandma would say, listen to your dreams. I was walking on a sandy beach, me and him,
Mhm.
holding hands. And he said to me, he said, I'm sorry for everything. And I'm like, it didn't, you know, play to me. I'm like, what do you mean? We're holding hands and we're hugging. We just walking sand, just in Florida.
Yeah.
And
Because you're very
I
comfortable.
woke up to go check my computer to see if he logged on. Back in the days, we didn't have the whole thing on the phone, and nothing.
Mhm.
No, it was something. He said, "Hey, baby, I'm going out on a mission, and I'll be back." That's what he said. So I'm like, okay, I missed him. I'm like, oh, I missed him. La, 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 la. I turned the volume up so I could hear, but I slept through it because I was dreaming.
Mhm.
And then about 4 hours later, I got that knock on my door, and I was like, I'm thinking it's a fire. So I'm putting on clothes. I run to the door, and I'm like, and then I
They
see
were banging. They
uniform.
were banging like really like it was a fire. Correct.
Yeah, that's boom, 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 boom. I'm a hard sleeper. Well, I
Mhm.
was. I'm not now.
Mhm.
Any little sound would wake me up. I was a hard sleeper at the time. So they're knocking at my door, and I'm like, okay, there's a fire. Next door neighbor house must be on fire. Something's on fire. I see uniforms, two guys in uniform. And the only thing I said to them, I didn't, anything they said did not like, it didn't play in my head. It was just like, I was like, is he okay?
Mhm.
He's like, Miss Phillips, I'm here to. I'm like, is he okay? Miss Phillips, I'm here. Is he okay? And like every
Yeah.
time I kept asking, they have to basically, deliver the message. I'm like, is he okay? And
Mhm.
so I just fell like to my knees. I'm like, is he okay? He's like, Miss Phillips, I regret so.
Mm.
Sorry, my Facebook. Your husband, Stefan Geraldo Phillips Jr. basically was killed by IED. Roadside bomb. Basically, I literally passed. I fell. I just started screaming. I screamed so loud that my next door neighbor heard me. After that, it's vague. I really don't remember a lot because I called my closest friend who was there. She was like a godmom to me because her husband was deployed with my husband. They were like best friends. I was
Mhm.
like, why didn't you tell me? I said, because I know you knew. She was the FRG leader. I said, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you let me know so I can prepare myself for this? I can prepare myself for this.
Mhm.
She's like, I didn't know. I didn't know. And I guess they kept it to her because we were all like a family
You all were
from
close.
her. Sorry. So then I called his mother. She was like, baby, they're lying. They're lying. My son is not gone. They're lying. I said, Mama, yes, he is. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. So then, after that, I had a house full of people, and they gave me Xanax, and
Wow.
um, but the process after that, it was basically, they sent me a casualty assistant person. The army needs to change a lot of stuff. It was
I'm going
horrible.
to ask you,
Uh,
what is a casualty assistance person?
a casualty assistant person is the person that helps you during casualty. She was supposed to help me do my paperwork, help me, basically his, his get his body, get all his, his items back. It was just a lot that she was there to do, get my benefits in order. But to me, it was more, we need you to sign this paperwork. We need you to sign this.
Mm.
And it wasn't no sympathy that I just lost my husband, you know? So it's like, where's the sympathy? Forget signing the papers, forget, keep the money. Where is the sympathy? Where is, let me have your back. Let me sit and talk to you. Oh, do you need to go to a counselor? We have this grief counseling. No, sometimes not everyone needs that counselor. It just happened. I just
Yeah.
need some time. Just give me a hug,
Yeah.
give me,
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
So
Even
anyway,
when they knock at the door, that always bothers me when I hear someone say that they got that knock on the door. I believe that they need to have someone with them who has compassion, because we know that they're soldiers and they have to be tough and they're trained for this.
they came
But
and they were gone. I don't even know basically when or how they left. They came and they were gone. Like I wasn't there by myself. They told me to call somebody to come with, be there, but after they delivered the message, they were gone. It was just like, okay. So, um, back up a little bit. September 14th, one of my good friends, her husband was the one who was killed. So I'm sitting there helping her, preparing and like being there for her, watching her kids, not knowing that 2 weeks
yeah,
later I was the next person. And that's how I felt. It was just like, oh my God, like, so
mhm,
she ended up coming to my house as well. Like, I couldn't even ask her, how did you feel? Because everyone has a different feeling. For
yeah,
me, it was just like my life was done. It was over. It was just like all everything I this fairy tale love story. It was just like
take
it
away
was a
from you.
wrap.
Take away from you.
And I it was a lot of blackouts for me. I found out that I couldn't have an open casket
Oh.
because of the IED. It basically blew him to pieces. And
Hmm.
what's so ironic, it was just like he was the only one, and that got injured. It was other people in the vehicle with him, and I'm like, why him? Why? They said he was a driver, and it ignited on the driver's side, and I was just like, oh my God. And so, I was lost, and I was devastated, and I had his son. I will never forget. We were driving somewhere. I don't know where we were going to pick up some food or something. And he said, I want my daddy. I want my daddy. He was just in the back seat crying. And I just had to pull over and I just started hollering and screaming. And at this time,
Mm.
me and his kid's mother, basically we had a relationship, but we didn't have the bond we have now. But
Yeah.
when it happened, we knew that at the end of the day, we had to be there for the children. So we hugged and we just like, oh my God, it was devastating. It was horrific. But
Yeah.
then, with death comes drama.
Yeah. Can only imagine. I can
Oh
only
Jesus,
and then they're looking like you the newbie. You wasn't here long enough to get benefits and have these
honey,
I can understand.
honey. So I don't want to really dwell on that few things
Yeah,
because I don't know if they're his family's listening. Even if they are,
yeah.
it was to a point where, we had the wait, and I'm sitting there trying to prepare everything and everything like that for my husband and a certain family member. She was felt like, I killed her son. I did it for money. I um I did a lot of evil things, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
It was to a point where we went to the funeral, and she got up and she spoke, and she said that I told him to lie to his parents, and I'm not really who I said I am, and this, that, and the third. Now, mind you, when we met, I was the golden girl. Oh, I'm so happy he met you. Da, 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 da. But he died. Oh, you ain't nothing. So it was like, I did tell him to lie to his parents. I said, don't tell them that we met online. Anybody,
Oh yeah.
anybody would do, because I was
Mm-hmm.
young, and I was embarrassed at the
Yes.
time.
Exactly.
So, she said, you killed my son. You killed my son. You killed my son. It got to a point where she came to the house, after we had a ceremony at the military base. I want everything of my sons out this house. I
Oh
was
man.
like, no, I said no. She said, I hope you burn in this house. I hope you rot in this house. I was like, what? So she started getting a little belligerent. I had to, and I would never call the cops on anybody's mother. I called the cops on
Mm-hmm.
her. I had to have her excused from my house. Like, no. My last name is Phillips, and this is, rightfully my house. So I got to the point when it came to insurance. Oh, I'm getting a lawyer. I know my son left this, that, and the third for me, this, and the third. He left basically things for his children and
Yeah.
I. So I was like, he didn't. Um, they sent they sent his brother over to try to steal my belongings, my paperwork, you know? And I was like, what? And
You're dealing with
let me tell you,
all of this and trying to grieve at the same time.
honey. So in the midst of trying to steal my paperwork, girl, let me tell you what he got. He got my Westgate documents. It was my Westgate folder. I said, where are you going with my Westgate paperwork? I was like, he came in here trying to see if he had this and he had that. I can little bit understand because we were only married a year and he died I buried him 3 days before my second wedding anniversary.
Oh.
So I can understand. I'm like, oh no, this is a setup, but I wasn't in Iraq.
But yeah, I
I
get
didn't
ready to say
tell
that. How
nobody
can
to.
he accept when he's at war?
I
So
didn't tell Al Qaeda to go attack him. I didn't do none of that.
yeah.
So
Well,
time forward passed, and October 31st came. I'm trying to go on with life. I'm still young. I'm 27 at this time. I started dating a guy. Well, I wouldn't even say date. I met a guy on Halloween, and we started basically, dating. And
mm-hmm.
it probably was too soon because I thought the easiest way for me to move
Get
on
over
was
the
to date.
situation. Yes.
And I was with him for a good while, for about 6 months. And I moved to California briefly to Barstow. And he was a wonderful guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there
Mm.
because I had so much I was going through. It was to a point, I think last year, I
Mm-hmm.
apologized to him. I
Yeah.
said I was sorry. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It was at a time when I wasn't ready. I'm like, you are an excellent person. You are the nicest person. His mother, to this day, I call her mama, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't ready. Then we tried it again. And,
Mm-hmm.
but I still wasn't ready. And honestly, I'm ready now, but because I know how to be a wife and not a
Yes.
girlfriend in this
You don't have
era
that.
of Facebook and seriously, this era of Facebook and Instagram and the
Yes.
the
Text
filters and all,
messaging.
I I'm not ready for this era.
Yes. Yes.
I know how to I don't know how to be the image of somebody you want me to be. I just know how to be me. A
Mm-hmm.
loving, caring person who knows about being there for her family.
Exactly.
So that's how that story
Wow. And
started.
so
And
then, in the midst of all of that you're dealing with, then you think you're again, you're still trying to find yourself, still trying to find your purpose. You think that you were going to go into fashion. Was that what it was? You came into my shop? Because that's how we met. We met. I had the event space in
I didn't want
Atlanta.
to go into fashion. So this
What
is how
was
we
it?
met.
What was
I wanted to
it?
do a fashion show.
Yeah.
So this is how we met, right? So I
Uh-huh.
was
Happy
in
birthday.
Atlanta for during my birthday weekend. So this is
Okay.
my birthday weekend again coming up. I was in Atlanta doing my birthday weekend. I was with Lamar Wright, which is one of my friends, and
Okay.
we were shopping for a dress. And I was basically I came to you, letting you know that, oh, I have this nonprofit. I want to do a fashion show for women, the widows or whatever. And this trying to pitch it to you to see if if you knew like a plug or a link or something. And you was like, I forgot the exact words you said, but you was like, no, 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 no.
Let's
He
talk
was like,
about
God has something else in store for you. I was like, I'm listening. At the time, it still didn't register to me, and I'm like, you like, mm-mm. He was like,
yeah.
no, 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 no. Why don't you start a nonprofit? Why don't you start doing things to,
Help
inspire other women and,
who look
tell your
like you.
story? Huh?
Yes. I said who look like you.
Yes, you said tell your story. Why don't you tell your story and you have a testimony? Let it inspire others. And so I was like, it took me a couple of weeks to let it resonate in. We were following each other on Facebook, I believe. That's when you had the Storm Chasers thing.
Oh,
And I'm
yes.
sitting here like, you know, maybe I should do it. Maybe
Yes.
and then I contact you again, and you was like excited. You were more excited than I was. He's like, he's like, I'm gonna connect you with this person, and you said I'm
I
gonna connect
get
you with this
excited.
person,
I get excited
and
when people are walking in their purpose. I just can't help not to get excited.
but you were like God sent because at that time I was lost. I just knew that I wanted to make a difference. And I
Yes.
knew that because we wore so many scars from, dealing with grief, from dealing with depression, even as a widow, I suffer from PTSD. I have hard time sleeping at night sometimes, I basically I get emotional during, certain dates at times, I have well, I haven't had a dream about him lately, but I used to have dreams. But it was just like you
I would have never put those two together. You said you suffer with PTSD as well, and you're the widower. And it's almost really like you went to war because you're talking to him, having these conversations. He's letting you know what's going on. You're begging him to go out there. You really did go to war. Like
it
you went
we went to
genuinely
war. We
in the
hear
spirit.
about what the things that go over there. We deal with the separation anxiety of not being with the spouse. We deal with basically having to take over the household without being with our spouse, dealing with, my stepchildren, with him not being there, trying to make sure Christmas was good and different. Does it's stressful. And
Mm-hmm.
trying to make sure he's good over there, sending his packages and things like that. It was very stressful to a point where we used to get into arguments. I'm like, when are you coming home? Like I can't
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
it was a learning experience for me as a military spouse. I
Mm-hmm.
was a young spouse, but I was a spouse that was not only for him, I was for the other soldiers too, in a sense of if I sent him a care package with food or whatever, I always
Mm-hmm.
sent extra because there were soldiers out there that didn't get stuff
Wow.
from their families. And he would
Yeah.
be like, "Why are you always doing that? Don't take care of them. You're my wife."
Yes.
But I'm
But
like,
God was
you
preparing
never
you.
know. Like
Even
they,
then, when you say that you were putting together packages for them, like God was preparing you for now, like where you
yeah,
are now. When you look at like
I,
when
I,
you
I
think about a lot of things that we go through, and you're like, again, one of my favorite scriptures is all things work together for good, like all things. And so here
yes,
you are, married young, but you're doing things that an older person would do, and it's now like now you're able to use that. Now you're able because there's still women and men who are dealing with PTSD and who still deal with that. And I mean, we're gonna talk about what you're getting ready to do for Veterans Day. Like there's so many people that I meet and have conversations with who are going through depression from, and people want to put a timestamp on how long you should be depressed. Oh,
Um, one
Iraq happened then, Afghanistan happened then.
thing, one thing that one of my grief counselors told me that grief, depression,
Mhm.
it's a roller coaster. It's a
Mhm.
roller coaster. You could be here one day, here the next day, and then down here,
Mhm.
it's you never know when you would get to that point. And
Mhm.
people don't understand you. I feel like, I come up as a strong individual to my friends and family. So they
Mhm.
expect me to get over everything, because of my background. I grew up in foster care. I wasn't really raised by my mom or my dad. My grandparents or other family members are a group home. Yes,
Mhm.
that's. But I overcame those obstacles. I still pushed forward. I went to school. I did everything I had to do. I got a job at 14, because I didn't want to be a victim of society.
Mhm.
So people look at me as like, PTSD. You
Mm.
worrying about something? But I don't let them know. I'm not the type of
Mhm.
person to bear my problems on others, because I'm like, you
Mhm.
know what? I can get through this. I can get
Mhm.
through this. I can get over this. I've been through all this. I can get over it. But then sometimes it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know? And to elaborate on the dating part after losing my husband, it
Mhm.
has been very challenging. I've met guys where, I thought they were the prospective person that I was looking for, or, to be there for me, because like I said, I don't know how to be a girlfriend. I don't know the dating stage of getting to know somebody.
Mhm.
I mean, I forgot it. So I know how to, take care, nurture, like,
Yeah.
be there, be that spouse, cook, clean,
Mhm.
do, the things I did when I started at 25
Yeah.
as a wife.
Mhm.
And it's been a roller coaster. I've been in a situation where domestic violence came a play.
Oh no.
Um, this was just 2015, 2000 going
Mhm.
into 2016. In a situation where it was a lot of infidelities. And my most recent one, it was a guy that I was dating, that I dated before I met my husband.
Mhm.
And I basically known him for over 13, 14 years. And ironically, him and my husband have the same birthday.
Oh wow.
Right.
Is this the one that you were in
um
love with before you met your husband?
oh, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. That's another story that I really don't want to put his business on Facebook, but it was God.
Okay.
God, it was God that broke us up. It was
Yeah.
God that stepped in between the one that I met him when I was 17, my first year in college. It was God that stepped in between us,
Yeah.
and broke us up. But I'm not gonna put his personal business, but God saved me. I have to
I
say
already
that.
feel it. I feel it all up in here. I feel it all up in
Yes,
here.
God saved me. Um, but in the midst of that, uh, it was another one I met after him, and he's a soldier, and
Mhm.
we were best friends. So I'm thinking, after this domestic violence situation, he's like, oh, I don't like you being up there. I want to be there for you. I want to, take care of you. Not like that in a sense of monetary, but like, support. Okay. So I started going back and forth to North Carolina, is what I told
Mhm.
you. And we're trying to see how things can really rekindle. Let's if we can pick up where we left off from. It basically it was there, but it wasn't there because he wasn't there. In the sense of
Mhm.
saying he had severe PTSD. He's been deployed about 6 to 7 times. The drinking, he was
Mhm.
a drinking heavily, and then he would say things like, "Nobody loves me, nobody cares. I can just die tomorrow." And I'm sitting there trying to be supportive, but then at the same time, like it becomes a toll on me because I'm seeing this man that I've known for 14 years break, and he's
Mhm.
breaking down to a point where I can't really he's not listening to me. I can't
Yeah.
really help him. So months went by, about 3 months. It only lasted about 3 months. It was like more of the drinking, more of the his his depression, his mental wasn't there.
Mhm.
Then as a woman, I snooped. So
Mhm.
I was snooping and I found out he was looking at women on Craigslist. And I'm
Mm.
like, and inviting them over for body massages and other sexual experiences. I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
know? So I come home back to New York and he a girl calls me on Facebook through Facebook Messenger, and
Mhm.
he's in the back. No, he called me on Facebook Messenger, and you hear a girl in the background, and she's just saying all this, derogatory stuff, and you talking to another female while I'm here. Da, 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 da. Da. Next thing you know, they started fighting.
Oh
They
wow.
fought so bad, she punched his tooth out.
Oh.
But I didn't think nothing of it. He said, "Oh,
That
she was
sounds the
drunk,"
craziest woman. Them women crazy. You going so crazy.
and she's from Charlotte. She's from Charlotte. But
Oh,
anyway, so I didn't take that, I didn't take heed to that. I'm a forgiving person. I forgive a lot. So I'm like, whatever. But it got to a point where I couldn't no more. I couldn't.
mhm.
I had females stalking my page. I had females inboxing me. It was just it got so bad. I'm like, if you love me, if you
Yeah.
really love me and you are supposed to be the one for me or whatever,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be receiving these messages from females. I
Mhm.
wouldn't receive phone calls from females. I wouldn't be, there wouldn't be a threat in the world from another woman if you
Yeah.
love your woman,
Yeah.
you
But
know?
you did realize that, especially dealing with PTSD, that that's not the individual who you know to love you. That's not the
It
person, and
took
that's why it's so
time.
hard for to be in those type of relationships with people who have that, because they carry so much and they fight so many different spirits.
But it took time for me to understand that. That's why I went to
Hmm.
school for mental health and substance abuse counseling. And
Hmm.
I finally graduated in 2017.
Hey,
Thank
congratulations! You know,
you.
I'm proud over here.
I did that because in order for me to fulfill my goal with this nonprofit, my passion,
Hmm.
I have to understand a mental disorder. I have to
Yeah.
understand what makes you feel this way. I didn't understand. I always felt me being there and being supportive, giving a
Hmm.
listening ear would be all a person would need. But no, it takes
Hmm.
more than that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. And even though I did learn that during the time I was experiencing
Hmm.
things with him, it still wasn't enough for me to stick through it. I
Yeah.
had to love myself first and I had
Yeah.
to let it go. It
Yeah.
got to a point where his own family, I told them, and I'm never going to do it again,
Hmm.
what he was doing and how he was treating me and, the things that we were going through. They took his side. It was like they were enabling his habits.
Yeah.
So it, it, it didn't work. It didn't
Hmm.
work at all. I wasn't actually broken at the time
Hmm.
because at that point, I knew that since 2005, I mean 2008,
Hmm.
I forgot how to love me. I
Yeah.
was too busy loving and doing for others,
Others.
and trying to figure out how I can make somebody else happy. But
Hmm.
what about my happiness?
Hmm.
And so I had to basically figure out a way to secure my happiness, secure my sanity. And I've
Hmm.
been single, well,
Yeah.
dating here and there, but single ever since because I needed that time for me. I didn't have that time since my husband passed. And
Exactly.
I've grown. I've went through a lot. I went through some pain, some tears, some frustrations, but I've grown to be this woman I can honestly say that I am today,
Yeah. Yeah.
where I'm okay with spending time alone now.
Mhm.
I'm okay with just, not facing um different things. Like I always had to travel. I always had to be here. But now I'm like, no, I just do it
Yeah.
another day. I'll just,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
I, I
And not
became
only that, now because you've grown, because you've experienced, and because you have the degree to add to that, but
hmm
now you can make the nonprofit right now your baby, the nonprofit your focus. And what would happen, and what I'm thinking about is I'm talking about this, not the scenario, and I was just again, I was reading this morning, but I'm thinking about the whole Ruth and Boaz situation. Like Ruth was working, if you will, like she was working and doing what
Right.
she was supposed to do, and that's how Boaz noticed her. So if you focus on that, and you're gonna find yourself in places and rubbing necks and elbows with people in high places, and so because of that, and because of you sowing and sowing and sowing to people, I have no room to not believe that you're not going to meet that person who is going to be on that level, that is going to be ready for the wife that you are, not the girlfriend status, because they're going to say this woman is out here sewing into other people's. She needs someone to take care of her at the end of the day.
Let me back up with
So,
that. So, in the midst of me doing things, because I currently work for a nonprofit who help low
mhm,
income families, and I
mhm,
meet men. I meet a lot of
mhm,
men that say they do this. They can
mhm,
help, they partner with me to do things for other people. And I'm
mhm,
thinking, is this business? But then
mhm,
there's a hidden agenda. And I'm
mhm,
like, okay, so then here comes the date invite. Oh, how would you like to go on a date? Or and I'm like,
mhm,
no, we could probably go and have a meeting and speak about, what it is that you do and how my residents can benefit from it.
mhm,
Girl, one guy tried to force me into a relationship. God said that we need to be together. I had a dream. God is this and God is that with the I'm like, I'm not ready. I was like, but
yeah,
you cannot force me to be ready. To a
mhm,
point where it was so he texted me. He said the times that we hung out, would you consider that to be a date? I said, no, I wouldn't consider it to be a date if I told you I'm not ready to be in a relationship.
mhm.
Never heard back from him.
Aw,
Never heard back from him. And I'm like, it's difficult
mhm,
networking. And, yes, I believe that there's somebody that's out there for me. But am
mhm,
I searching for it right now?
yeah,
If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't, I feel that there's a time for everything. I'm like
mhm.
right now, the first, piece of meat that come my way, I'm not gonna basically just take. I just can't. I just can't take. I'm not
Yeah,
desperate.
exactly.
I'm
You
not
gotta
desperate. So,
put like this is Wakanda, but you gotta do this to let them know that no, no, back off, back
mm-mm,
off. But
mm-mm. Like
again,
we can
that
work
focus
together. We
on
can make things happen to change other people's lives. But I
yes,
just can't just take the first piece of thing that come to me. It's like as a woman, I know my worth. As a man, do you know your worth? You don't have
and
to spend your money on me.
a lot of men don't know their worth,
No,
and so
exactly. They figure they have to
it,
give extravagant things to impress you, take you. You
mhm,
don't have when I was married, what we was low on funds because we had, other expenses, child support and stuff like that. And the kids wanted to go to the movies. We had this big flat screen TV in the house. You know what we
mhm,
did? We went, we popped some popcorn, we
mhm,
sat on the couch, and we had movie night. So
mhm,
every Saturday, the kids, the kids love that.
yeah,
So it was a way for us to basically, it was a little things,
mhm,
and that's what matters to me. I don't need a big house on the hill or
mhm,
anything like that.
mhm,
It's the little things. If we got into an argument or something like that, I will wake up to a letter
mhm.
side of my pillow saying,
Aw,
trying to reconcile everything. And he'll kiss me before he go to work, but there'll be a letter there when I wake up. I'm like, this man is just too sweet. But those are
wow.
the little things.
And those that is something that you can look at and know that that type of love is attainable because you've experienced it. A
Right,
lot of people are stressed out, they're worried, they're going through because they don't believe that love is out there like that. And
right,
unfortunately for you, yours was cut down by evilness shortly, but you do
right,
have that memory to hold on to and let them know that it's attainable and that you can get that. You can get that. And so I'm so thankful that you've been through those processes. I'm thankful that you've been through the tough relationships because for me, I feel like it all prepares us for that next big thing that's coming for us. And you will appreciate and you will love and it will just be a joyous occasion. And so, with all of that you've been through, like that was a whole lot. Like you have so much to offer to those, not just the widows, but even to the veterans, and you're getting ready to do something with the veterans, correct? On Veterans Day, correct? Because I'm trying
Yes,
to get.
so we're partnering with Volunteers of America,
Mhm.
and we're going to go to the local veteran shelter. And I'm also partnering with one of my friends who's like a big party promoter,
Mhm.
um, to get other people to come out and basically participate. We're gonna feed the homeless, homeless veterans. You know, I was gonna do it as a street outreach, but
Mhm.
that's too time consuming, being that it's a Monday and things like that. So I figured I'll do it inside of the facility where I can
Mhm.
directly impact. I love
Yeah.
hearing the veteran stories. I love
Mhm.
hearing, I just love being around veterans and love
Mhm.
hearing their struggles, their strengths, their goals.
Mhm.
And if I have to sacrifice my time to do it, I'm willing to do it. So we're giving away food. I'm trying to do hats and gloves and things like that because New York winter is brutal.
Exactly. Exactly.
um, just
So
to
we
let them
can
know
join.
that.
We need to maybe add because we're getting ready. We're doing a blankets and brunch tour.
Okay.
Already locked down 4 locations: Charlotte, Atlanta, New Orleans, Mandeville, and Houston. So maybe that Saturday prior, we can meet up and get some people to come and meet us at the brunch location to bring all that stuff, and then you'll already have it for Monday. But I would love, love, love to partner with you on that because I mean,
Yes, we can. I don't just plan to do it Veterans Day. It's something I
mhm,
plan to do probably like, as months go in because there are a lot of veteran shelters and there are a lot of veterans that are homeless on the street that basically they have this mentality where I don't need your help. You
yeah,
know,
and they're
I
mad at
don't.
they're mad at the world. They're mad at the government. They're mad, and a lot of them do have a legit reason to be upset. Sitting,
Mhm.
I go under the bridge. I'm in tent areas. I'm going places that people don't go, and just they're mad.
And,
They're really mad at
and
the
another reason they're upset is because yes, there are tremendous amount of nonprofits out here. There
Mhm.
are tremendous amount of nonprofits, but some of them see them as a number,
Mhm.
a tax write-off. And
Mhm.
I don't see that because I
Mhm.
I started doing this like the Christmas after my late husband passed. I was in Delaware, so I
Mhm.
went to Walter Reed to have Christmas with a family that the soldier basically he lost his legs during IED during a roadside bomb. And
Mhm.
this is Christmas where I should be with my family. I should be with the one that loved, but I
Mhm.
was there with him and his family, you
Mhm.
know, because it's not a form of fame for me. It's not a
Mhm.
form of money for me. It's a form of love and gratitude, appreciation for what they've done. That's how I feel when it comes to me basically helping the veterans. So,
Awesome. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I
well,
want you to
you
write a book.
inspired this movement.
I want you to write a book. Like literally, I need you
Well,
to get.
I started. I started. That's when girlfriend was helping me. I I'm still at 10 chapters. I still didn't finish, but I think the reason why I didn't finish because so much transpired in the midst of me trying to finish that book.
And it had to transpire because
It
now
had
all
to.
that needs to be in there because someone needs to be inspired by it. Someone's going to be inspired by this video. I'm inspired by it. Like we set
Thank
out
you.
to just talk about Veterans Day event, and we have covered PTSD for both sides. We have covered we've covered so much. We've covered just how you were in this fairy tale wedding to get a bang on the door to let you know that your husband was killed at war, like, and you're still surviving, you're still moving, you're still trying, and the biggest thing, you still believe in love. Like so many people give up on love. I,
I would
you
never
know
give up
I'm a
on love.
love
It's
advocate now. I think I would shake you hard if you give up on love. Yes, Devontae.
I can't give up on love because I know that there people. I feel sorry for the people that feel they can't find love, or they
Mhm,
search because they need love. But I
mhm,
feel that the only way to get that genuine love is within yourself first. Then, let your flower bloom,
mhm.
and then it will take that ray of sun from, that ray of love from everybody else. And
Exactly.
that's what I have done. I let my flower bloom. I don't expect people to basically be there to support me, be there to do this. If you're there, you're there. But I'm content and confident within myself that
Mhm.
I love you still.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do what I have to do. You rolling or you not? It's gonna happen. So
exactly.
I know that
And
love is
before we
out
go,
there.
I do want to know, I want to ask you, how's your mom?
um, since it's uncut, mom is still. She was one of the main reasons I moved to New York. I got a two-bedroom apartment paying $1,500, and she was doing well at the time, but she backslide, and she's basically back into her life and doing the things that she loved to do best is um indulge in activities that don't keep her positive, I should say. Like, she's still a victim of society.
Mhm,
um but that's another part that made me who I am, is to see her transition from this stage to that stage and this stage. But she always made it a point to say, baby, I love you, baby, I'm proud of you. This is my baby. That's what she say often. And I will always support my mother through her habits. She's currently living in a shelter here in Brooklyn at the time. um Unfortunately, I cannot have my mom living with me because of her activities. I end up in the hospital trying to help her, and I had to put myself first. But I let her know that I still love you. I'm always there for you. Um, what he says, speaking of the
yes,
men, if
and
you
I want you to answer him. I'm getting ready to answer as soon as you got done from that. He's asking a question.
but I love my mom. I'll always be there for her regardless of her habits, because that's without her I wouldn't be here. I
I'm
love my
gonna
mama.
keep her in my prayers, and
Thank
that
you.
you're doing the right thing, because of that you have to worry about yourself, you have to worry about your house, you have to worry about something happening in the street and somebody come and retaliate against you. So it's so many different things.
And
And
then
just
that's another story about the family. But what did he
so just
say?
so he's
Speaking for
asking
the
you,
men,
speaking for men, if you were done wrong by your ex after 2.5 years, how do you cope? You want to answer that?
from a female perspective or from a male perspective?
From your perspective, he's asking us. I
Oh,
mean,
if I was done wrong
it
by
could
my
be
ex after two and a half years, I would basically, I'll take time for myself. You know,
Mhm.
I'll take time to realize that at the end of the day, you're not the victim. You
Right.
know, and sometimes, honestly, we have to look at the picture as the problem is them, and there's something wrong with them, and not in a sense where they're retarded or anything. In a
Mhm.
sense where they're not at a point where you are in life. They
Mhm.
still have learning to do. They still have growth, you know, to obtain. Some people are in your life for a season and a reason, and I believe that strongly.
Mhm.
2.5 years, if your ex wasn't all about you, wasn't loving you, wasn't ready to do all that they can for you, then they were not really there for you. And I'm
Mhm.
just being bluntly honest. But the way to get over that is know that you're not the victim, and it's
And
not
I
your
want to
fault.
piggyback off of that. I just, if I don't, you have to look at my video that I posted on yesterday, Devante, in reference to being who you are called to be, despite what's going on around you. And for me, the biggest thing that helps me cope from anybody hurting me in any type of relationship, it could be business, relationship, physical, it doesn't matter. But the number one thing that helps me is to forgive them. Once I forgive them, it releases me from so much pressure. It releases me to have so much peace and so much joy, because I've let the the what you call the insult go. I've let what they did to me. I release it, and if I'm forgiven and it's gone, I'm not gonna be constantly thinking about it, because I'm like, I can answer my phone, and like, hey, what's up? Because I've forgiven you. But if I don't forgive you, like every time you call me, I'm grudging. Every time I hear your name, I'm getting upset. So that's the main thing that I would advise to you is to forgive them. I don't care what they did. Forgive them. You're talking to somebody who was married and had to pray on the phone with the woman who called to tell me that she was pregnant by my husband because he cursed her out. And I'm
Mm.
praying for her, covering her in prayer because I felt like she didn't know who she was. Anytime you calling a wife on the phone, so it's all about forgiveness. It's about forgiveness will set you so free. And when you forgive others, you forgive yourself. It relieves you, and you can just walk in so much joy, so much peace, and it opens the door for love. So forgive him, forgive him, and open that space that you're holding on for someone else to come in and occupy that space. So that's what I would
Another
suggest.
thing to piggyback on what she's saying, I think that if you have something that you want to work hard on, something that you basically are driven to do, your passion, focus on that.
Mhm.
I found that, during my time of dealing with things, I pick up something and I just start working on it and start bettering my craft.
Mhm.
It's either bettering yourself, bettering your craft, going back to school, and basically you have the opportunity to do what you want to do. It hurts, you know, it
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah.
It hurts, but the best way to do things is to basically focus on you at the time and not feeling like the victim. I hate, you know, when the person that did you wrong try to make you feel like you're the victim.
It's your fault that I did this to you.
Right,
The
right.
devil is a
They try to pick every narcissism, I think it's called. It's
lie.
out there and it's bad.
It's horrible. It's
It's bad.
horrible. It's so
It's a
horrible.
mental
All I
disorder.
can do is pray. I can just pray for them and just ask, just for them to fight for those demons. That's why I am now. Like my next relationship, I'm gonna ask like straight up the back. One, these
Let's
I've
talk
never
about your relationship. Have
I
you been on
never
dates?
thought I am single. I again, you have to watch the video. I just posted the video
Okay.
last night. But I've never been a person to have lists, but now I have lists. And my list is one, do you pray? Two, will you pray and cover me? Three, if I ask you to fast with me, can we go on this fast together? Because we got things to fight out here.
So is
Four,
this list like your expectations?
this is what I'm asking you. I'm off the back and it needs to happen. It's no such I'm
So
not
what if
picking
this guy, all right, I have to say this.
I got
I
good four.
listen.
Let me give you four. Let me give you four because I'm not letting go of my
Okay.
list. Four is are you gonna fight for me? When I say fight for me, I don't mean if my mom or my daddy call you or somebody call you and check you, you put them in check. No. When a demon get in your head and those spirits come to you and say, cheat on her, mistreat her, talk crazy to her, don't be there for her. You gotta fight those. That's the fight I need you. I need to know that you're able to fight that flesh that warfare that goes on inside of us, that you can fight that.
Right.
That's it. That's my fat four.
All right, I'm moving. um, my phone was charging, so it's probably a little bit better over here. Sorry.
Yes,
But
Devontae.
my thing is you have expectations, right? So in the
That's
midst of those expectations, what if you meet a guy that cannot reach your expectation? TD Jake said you can
no,
expect people to know how to love you. You have to take the opportunity to teach them the things
not
that you
that.
like.
Did you listen to those expectations? My expectations weren't anything about teaching. You have to have that spiritually inside of you. What I want. I'm not asking you to have no money. I'm not asking you to have no house. I'm not asking you to have a job. I'm not no talents. This has to do with your spirit. Praying, cover me, and fasting with me, knowing how to fight demons, that's a no compromise. I'm not compromising on that anymore because at the end of the day, that's what I'm bringing to you. I'm gonna cover you. I'm gonna cover you. I'm gonna fast for you. I'm gonna fast for us because I know that we're fighting against these devils out here. So I'm gonna fight. So that's something totally different. And I get because there's women who have these lists like that. But what I'm asking for, it needs to be internal. I can't teach you to go to God for me. I can't do that, because if that's the case, I can do that for myself. I know how to
Right.
pray and talk to God. I can't teach you to walk in, you know what I'm saying, walk in the spirit that you're not going to get weak at the sign of something that, like, the first thing that happens to you. Like, you know,
Right.
I can't help you if you walking in a grudging spirit. Like, I can't teach you how to not walk in a grudging spirit. I can't teach you how not
Well,
to
I feel,
forgive people. No,
I
you
don't know.
can't teach somebody that, girl. It's got to be
It's
internal.
not,
You say you have to teach yourself how to love yourself, right?
but no, I'm not saying that I'm willing to accept anything,
Yeah.
but I'm not approaching anyone with a list. I
Oh,
am,
you don't even have to approach. Like, it's, first of all, you're gonna know, but I am
mm,
gonna ask that. Like, I am, because that's just like someone ask. Okay, that's what our culture, we have it so bad. Let me tell you, if you go and you know me, I study all cultures, I study all religions. We're the only ones that, like, okay with, like, just like you're saying, we're okay with that. But you can't find a Jew with all this money, with all this status, with all this, in their religion. They're not gonna come to, if they don't look, they don't even look at you and see, oh, she got on sleeve, her sleeves out, her breasts out, her hair's out. They don't even want you, because it's not relying up with their spirituality, if you get what I'm saying. A Muslim, you're not, they got Muslims who, if you're not at a certain level, you're not who they want. So again, it's a spiritual thing. If you don't
so what
have that,
if you get that, you know, how would you end up problems come along? How would you overturn that? You know, how would you,
what problems are you saying that come along? Because again, when you're a praying, fervent praying person, the problems ain't, like, know me. My life is I
I
have
can't, what
all
if someone's
kinds.
just using that as a facade? You know, they know what you want. So I'm going to pretend, I'm going to put this mask on to basically present this
You
person
can't
to
you
Jada.
can't you can't pretend. The spirit don't lie, though, but you can't pretend. And that's what my thing is. I've been accepting what I know is not what I want, in on a spiritual level. So you can't
Right.
pretend that. That's something that you just cannot pretend. And that's if that's something you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you have to, especially for where God, where God is taking you, and
Right.
where God is taking me, I can't afford to put myself in a situation, because again, which your surroundings, especially if it's that close, your surroundings have the opportunity to come into your spirit and make you, like, you got to be around like-minded people, period. So in a relationship, I need to be in a relationship with a like-minded person who is on the same spiritual plane as I am. And if I can't get that, I would rather be single, and I'm okay with being single, because again, I need to make sure that we out here fighting in this world together. Because for me, Storm Chaser wasn't like, that name just didn't come out the blue. I'm always attacked because of my joy, because of my happiness. You know what I'm saying? So I need to make
Mhm.
sure that I'm with someone who really is on a higher spiritual plane than I am. So when I'm being attacked, I know that I'm fighting, and I got somebody to cover me as well, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm
I
saying?
understand what you're saying.
When I say list, I'm not, again, it is not the material list, is not the
No, it wasn't
status list.
material, but it was just like, you know,
I watched that series with TG when he said that, and basically it really was a status and a material list that he was talking about. But if you look at another video, he gonna tell you who you need to be in a relationship with. Like, again, you gotta really, like, look at. I'm gonna send you both videos, because he got another video where he breaks down what kind of person you want to marry. Like, who do you want to marry? So you think
yeah.
it makes sense for you to go out here and marry, like, I'm just saying, you could teach somebody. You just said that. Would you marry, if you was a man, and for, me and you, we both had the same type of moms. If you was a man, would you marry your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. You just said you can't be around your
And
mom. So
can't I can't
again, so that's
because
what I'm
I
saying.
don't,
You gotta
it's a
know your,
different relationship from
yeah.
my, you know, as a from a daughter to a child. I mean, from a daughter to a mother. But in a love relationship, from a spouse to a spouse,
Mhm.
and knowing the person my mother is, my mother, she's missing that. She feels
Mhm.
that, during her relationships with her, my mom had 8 kids,
Mhm.
5 by 1, no, wait, 6 by 1 and two by
Mhm.
two others, right? So in the midst of her having 8 kids, she feel like, she haven't obtained that love.
Mhm.
The relationship with her mother wasn't all that good. So
Mhm.
if she sees someone that is going to love her, that's going to appreciate her and help her through her journey, I think that, she can change. She has a guy that she's dating now. He got my mom to start working.
Mhm.
Um, they both in the shelter. He's not on, substance abuse or anything.
Mhm.
But he got her to start working. He got her to start taking care of herself more, to start looking for an apartment and things. When he
Mhm.
wasn't with her, my mom wasn't encouraged to do any of
Yeah.
this, even though I encourage her. But she's looking at me. I'm the mother. You the child. you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I, if I was a man, I would date her because I know what she needs. But
Mhm.
not every
Well, see,
man
that's
out
what,
there.
and again, that like I don't want for me, I don't again that goes to what I don't need. I don't need a man to take care of me. I don't need a man to guide me. I don't need a man to. We can grow together, like literally, like we should both have enough of journey in our lives to where we should know. At this, I'm 42, and so at this point,
You don't
I
been looking,
definitely
girl. You look
I
good.
definitely need to know. I should know what I want out of life at this point. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm not looking for that. Again, I it's where I am at in my life and where God needs me to be. Like I'm already out ministering to too many people. I'm already pouring myself out to so many people, and it's just growing. It keeps growing. And so at the end of the day, I need to be able to come home where I'm not like I'm nurturing, like I'm cooking, I'm doing all this other stuff, but I don't want to come and raise a
I
husband.
mean,
No, no. I have 4
I can
kids.
understand that. I don't want to raise a man either. So I don't want to, to get it. It's just that I, I also referring back to Bishop T.D. Jakes.
uh,
Did you see the video where he had the one about the trunk, the baggage?
I did. I don't watch TV chicks like that because some of the things that we just don't. Um,
Don't click. Don't.
no. So I probably didn't. I hadn't seen that, but I had to watch. Like I said, I had to watch those two that you're talking about. Hey, Karen, I had to watch those two that you're talking about just
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of I've met so many women who when he said that dropped like the things that were important to them, like they
Mm-hmm.
dropped it, and it caused issues for them. It caused them to find themselves in relationships where they really settled. You get what I'm saying? They really
Right.
settled, and it didn't turn out good, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It didn't turn out good,
Well,
and
I guess this
I
is
just
like
think it's really confusing.
sorry. I guess it's like a sequel to that because
Mhm.
like he had this Escalade,
Mhm.
and the Escalade he showed like the front of it, and it was
Mhm.
like really nice. The inside, the passenger driver's side was really nice. The back seat was really nice. Then he
Mhm.
opened the trunk, and when he opened the trunk, oh my God, it was filthy. All this
Mhm.
trash started coming up out, and so you had a person out there. The person was so interested in the vehicle when
Mhm.
he saw the cleaners on the outside, the passenger seat, driver's seat, and then the back seat.
Mhm.
Honey, when the person got to the back, it was like, I don't want
Mhm.
this. It's too
Baggage.
much baggage for me.
Mhm.
And so he basically was saying that, you're looking on the outside, and you're expecting this cleanness, and expecting people to be what you want them to be, or what you
Mhm.
expect them to be. But then, are you willing to carry these baggage just to have this escalate? Are you willing
Mhm.
to basically do all this? Does this
Mhm.
devalue the car? you
Mhm.
know so that really spoke to me in a sense of everybody comes with a bag. I don't care what it is.
If
If
they're
it's
not a Christian, I don't
spiritual,
want to do it. I'm sorry. If they're not a Christian, I don't want it. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
if they're not a
That's just
Christian, I can
well.
understand in that
That's
sense.
my list. And it's, if you listen to my list again, that's my list. I just want a
Okay.
Christian. That's what I'm saying. I don't want. I've had. I've been with a millionaire. That doesn't matter to me. I've been with some talent. I've been through all of that. But if you're not a Christian and you're not like, that's all I said. Prayer,
Mhm.
fasting. That what I'm saying. Like that's a part of being a Christian. So if I
Right.
can't get that, I just don't want it. I'm sorry. I don't want it. It has to be that. Because I mean, like I said, I fight too many battles out here to not have somebody that I can go to God with. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm not saying that they don't have to have daddy issues. They don't have to have issues that they like that stuff that we can deal together with through fasting and prayer. But if they got these issues and don't want to pray and don't want to fast, what good
And
is it? You know what I'm saying?
right.
That's when I say my list is basically you need to be a Christian. Point blank period. Like you need
Need
to
to be a
know
praying man.
you gotta have that. Like I'm not compromising on that because that is so
Right.
important to get through what we have to get through. If we don't have that, we can't get through it. You know what I'm saying? Because prayer changes things. Fasting, oh my God. I'm a living witness. I've seen God show up in the process of fasting that you would never imagine. And so for me, I don't want to do it in a relationship by myself. I need to know that you are going to do this with me. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to reiterate that. So I don't want anybody to look at this like, oh, she got a list. I don't have a list like that. You gotta be a Christian. You gotta pray. You gotta
Gotta have
fast.
that
Like
God in you. It's the
you
God in me.
you gotta have that. You gotta because when you have that, you know it from your own strength and your own walk. You're able to handle life. Period. You know what I'm saying? No matter what
Right.
you're facing, no matter what challenges, you are able to handle life because you know that greater is He that is in me than anything that you face in the world. Like you gotta have that because if you don't have that, that's why you're constantly fighting with yourself. You're constantly doing this. You're constantly rebelling. You're doing all these different things because you don't have that Christ center that you need to help you along this journey. Because this journey is not easy. It's not an easy journey
Oh
at
no,
all.
it's
You are
not.
faced with so many different things. And so for me, like I said, God is just elevating me, and He just continues to
I
elevate
have a
me.
question. How
Hmm.
would you inspire those that are looking to see God, right?
Hmm.
But some of the messengers that are out here to basically inspire them about God, to preach the word to them, are not holy, are not what they say claim to be, are not what they basically um it's like they're putting this image on for something else, but it's the spirit is really not within them.
Hmm.
So, and
That's what
I'll just
a
speak
lot
for
of
myself.
relationships a lot of relationships are broken because of a lot of people have church hurt, they have religion hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it's such a hard thing, but my goal and my mission is to just touch as many as I can. However, like I can't change the world. I know I can't, but if I just keep on walking and showing my relationship and who I am with God, if I keep, you know what I'm saying, if I just stay and be the light that God called me to be, because we don't have their platforms. We don't we can't. Our reach isn't big as their reach, but we have a reach. Like look right now, we're on social media right now having a conversation about survival, strength, and God. You know what I'm saying? So when we continue to have those conversations and be true, our authentic selves, who God called us to be, we can reach. I have so many people who have come to me and said, I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't even believe in God. But watching you in your consistent walk made me want to have a relationship with God. So that's what we have to do. And God is going to remove those. Yesterday, I bought this book. I went to the store and I kept saying, "Oh my gosh, I had not had this book in over a year. Like I used to get them delivered to me when I was living in Georgia and Louisiana, and I hadn't
Right.
got it. But I'm leaving out the store yesterday, and I'm like, I want to get this book, and so I got it. And Women's Day, they always have a scripture hidden. It's not hidden, but it's in it's in their magazine. One of the magazines have been doing it for years. Well, open the magazine, scripture. Do not grow weary in well doing. Do not grow weary in well doing. And
Mm,
so that's what we have to do. We have to just not get frustrated, not get upset because you wonder like how to get these platforms, how they get these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? But the devil
right.
blesses his people too. You know what I'm saying? So he has the ability, but God trumps his ability. So we have to just continue doing what we doing, and just if we continue, God's gonna again, like I said, these platforms that God I know is giving me. You met me. You've seen the ones I've had before. So if he did that, just imagine what he's gonna do again because of the consistent walk, knowing God, I need you to use me. That's my prayer. Use me in such a way
And
that
he has,
for those
like,
people.
I mean, I've been watching you so many years. You are very inspiring. I mean, even through your storm. I mean, even though the chaser was inspired by your move from
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans during not Sandy, Katrina,
Mm-hmm.
but you're still chasing because
Yes.
you have went through so many other storms. But you know what? What kept me inspired by looking at you, that what you're doing right now, that smile, like you just kept it.
I
It
cannot get
never it never went away. And I think that, it takes I don't want to single anybody out, but it takes a special individual to
Mhm,
still be able to, a special individual that's lifted in prayer, lifted in the spirit, to
mhm,
still be able to maintain that smile through
mhm,
every single pain.
mhm,
We talked over the phone. We spoke, constantly. We haven't spoke lately, but I've been watching, you've been watching me, but
mhm.
you just kept moving, and you kept inspiring others,
Man,
not just with your story, but through that smile, through your pain. And no one will never know what you've been through,
I got
but
a
you
call
share.
yesterday after I dropped the video yesterday. They were like, you because I mean, again, my friend was like, you had all these different plot twists in the video, like stuff that I thought I knew. Because she was like, 6 months. I'm like, we're not in a relationship, no sex, we're just together. A year, Jada, you have not had sex in a year. I cannot believe it. A year and a half comes. She's like, what in the world? But and I'm smiling through it. And she's like, no sex toys yet. I don't need all that. Like I got I got the Holy Spirit in me. I don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just again it's God, and again to be able like when I mean because after I left Johnny I had that sabbatical, I took a break, but then I met Robert and I was like, oh, he's amazing, he's such a good guy, he's still amazing, like we are like literally best friends, like, and I'm thankful for that,
I
like
didn't know about Robert.
yeah, so I'm single. So I mean, through it all, I'm just so thankful, and I've been through a lot, and in the midst of I'm still holding on. I'm still singing. I'm
You're
still.
feeding the homeless, you fed people's spirits, like through everything that you went through. I mean, when people talk about strength, I mean, I think your name should be just like embedded in the word strength,
Amen. Praise
because
the Lord. I
it
feel the
takes
same for
strength.
you though. I feel the same for you, and I'm
But I
excited,
mean, you
especially.
inspired that. I mean, I don't know if I think I don't know if I me meeting you that day and coming about a fashion show. Everybody else like, yeah, you should do it. You should do it. And I'm actually basically partnering with one of my friends here. She's going to start her little fashion boutique.
Uh-huh.
Are going to do a fashion show, but that's a little bit down the line.
Mhm.
To for the women and the veterans, it's going to be outside of my camouflage or my
Mhm.
camouflage of life. Something we decided. We're
That's
just
cute.
in the works of it.
And now
But
that you have the platform, you can do it all. Like there's no limits.
yeah, and that stuff like that keeps me.
I think I lost you. I don't know. Keep coming. You're stuck, and I'm bright. I'm bright, and you're stuck. But ooh, we have went an hour and a half. If I'm still rolling, but yeah, she got stuck. Oh my gosh, Rosia! Hey, beautiful. How are you? Very you and I and the other people in the world that can go out and be the light that God needs us to be. Point blank, period. That's just who we are, and it could already be done. So I don't know what happened to Tosha. I don't know if because she moved, her phone was on the charger. So I don't know if it's because she moved and then her phone. I don't know, why am I so bright? Then her phone probably died. But we have got a lot in. So if you're watching this video, the repeat on Facebook or on YouTube when I upload on YouTube, just ask a question if you have a question, and either I myself will answer it or I will reach out to her and let her know there's a question for her to answer it. But it has been an amazing time. I look forward to Wednesday. I'm sorry, Monday we'll have a guy. So we'll do Wednesdays, it's a lady, Woman Crush Wednesday, and Mondays it'll be a guy. Don't know what the conversations will be about. The topics will be different, but we are doing a new thing and excited to hold on to do what we need to do to just to do our part in the world. Do our part. Make love go viral. Make purpose go viral. Make amazing things go viral.
I'm
We
sorry. I got
and
a phone call.
I think this much. I said, but I didn't even realize we've been talking over an hour, like an hour and a half. It's been amazing.
Yeah,
Like
I just got an inbox. Oh, you're ignoring me?
you's a hot
I'm
girl, Phillips.
sorry.
But no, I was letting people know that like I'm so excited. And if anyone has a question, they can, ask the question here later. If they watch, if they watch, come back and watch it later. I'll let you know if they ask the question here or when I upload it to YouTube. If any questions come in there, I will share it. But I'm so thankful for you being a part of my first
Thank you
Woman
for
Crush
having
Wednesday
me.
series. And I'm looking forward to more. And I'm looking for, I am telling you, I'm going to try to get there to come up there and help you all on the 11th, November the 11th. That's correct.
No, it's at 12. But like I
It is
said, if you can't make it then, we're always doing it. Like I'm
okay.
trying to make it a monthly thing.
Okay.
This will be my first event. So, I'm trying to make it a monthly ordeal where I'm getting more people involved. And I forgot to mention, I am I made history during the nonprofit. I'm the first African American military widow to have a nonprofit that's catering to widows and veterans.
Wow.
Yes.
That makes me so happy. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. How do
Yeah.
people like keep up to know like when you're doing like this stuff? Can you share that information?
Well, you can basically follow my Instagram page,
Hmm.
Wings dot Wings with dots between the letters 1006. Also, my website is up, Wings 1006 online. Also, my Facebook page, Widows Inspiring a Nation Growing Silent. Um,
I never knew what wings stood for.
oh my God, really?
I'm learning a lot tonight. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and actually, one of the main reasons why I started this, I felt my husband's sacrifice. I didn't want it to go into vain. And I
Yeah,
felt like he fought and he died. He made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. Now it's
yeah,
my job to continue fighting. And so I
exactly.
made a post on my nonprofit Instagram. He wore the medals of honors on his uniform. Now I'm wearing the hills of honors, and I'm basically moving forward and trying to inspire, trying to change, trying to support. I don't look at them as tax write-offs. I don't look at them as numbers. I look at
Yeah.
them as individual who needs
Mm.
that person there, even if it's just a phone call, an inbox, or anything. Like I don't know. It's just I just get happy doing it, when I'm doing it. And I right now I don't have uh a lot of support within my circle, but I'm like, that's okay. I'm not
Your
looking for that
circle, I
fame.
find sometimes your circle isn't your support, but your support is coming. Like it's coming.
My
It's
page has been up only what, a week now,
mhm.
and I've got 54 followers. Um, my posts are doing very good.
Mhm.
I receive my little donations here and there. Every little
Mhm.
bit helps. And I don't go out and ask. I just try to inspire. I try to give information that's needed. I
Yeah.
get phone calls, I get inboxes, even last year when I wasn't really into it, because I
Mhm.
fell off a lot and I was like, you know what, I had to find me.
Yeah.
I had to find the niche. I
Yes.
had to find what do I really need to push wings. I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking about it during my break, but now that I'm here, it's like, what do I need to do to push it? And
Mhm.
I've been pushing it to a point where everything I went through in one, two, three, about 3 years
Mhm.
is pushing me to do it better, to do it.
Awesome. Awesome.
You knew about the event I had in Georgia. That
Yes.
was an amazing event. I
Mhm.
mean, I went against the mayor for the spot and I won. The mayor said, "Oh no, you can't do it in the park." And it was oh my God, the event was great. I want to do that
Mhm.
again here. I want to have that same effect here. Even though New York is a whole different jungle,
Yes.
but
It
I
is a
think
jungle.
that
Concrete jungle.
concrete jungle, but I think that it's possible, and
It's already
I,
done.
I'm excited for what's to come, and it was the best birthday gift I could have given myself.
It's already
So,
done. It's already done. I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna keep
thank
on
you,
rooting for you, keep sharing, and I'm just in my mind like, who do I know in New York? Few people. So I'm definitely going to make the calls I need to make for you. I
thank
mean, we
you.
met, let you know.
And
You
Miss
know,
Barbara told me to tell you hello.
I love Miss Barbara.
She called me today.
She's so cute. She is so adorable. I need to call her myself too, but she's so adorable. So thank you
Yes.
so much for coming again.
Thank you
God
for
has been
having
putting
me.
this in my heart, and I said, you know what? I cannot be a listener of the word. I need to be a doer. When God tells me to do something, I need to make sure that it happens. And so I'm
Thank
thankful
you.
that you answered the request and you came to be a part of this. Like I said, this has given. There's so many. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put the bullets because there's been so much information shared on this video today that I know is
Thank
gonna
you.
bless some souls, and I thank you
Thank
for it.
you. I just
I
wanted
love
to also say that this nonprofit is your seed too. This is a seed you planted in me from the fashion show.
you.
But you're watching it blossom. So,
Amen. Amen.
this is you put your blessings, your touch, your calling, your word into this. So, this is this is something that your spirit opened up and it's like a flower blooming. So,
I'm,
thank you.
I'm so excited to see, and I know if I feel like I just imagine what God's feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I
And
thank
especially
you.
how we met. It was just like, you don't meet I meet people
I
I try
still
to
don't
network
know how
with.
I met you. I don't know how I meet a lot of people, honestly. I do.
It was in your shop. It was in the shop. I was looking for a dress for my birthday. Um, I try to like I had an event, a women's empowerment event for my job, and I try to network with different people, even some celebrities, even some of my friends. What was it? Ti's Hustle,
Mhm,
Grand Hustle,
mhm.
the show he had. My friend Crystal, she won. I know her from New
Um,
York. So I asked, I invited some of my friends to come to the event or come speak or whatever.
mhm.
I didn't get any response. I'm like, you know what? I can still do this. I don't need,
Yeah.
at the time when I was initially doing my nonprofit, I'm thinking
Mhm.
about, oh, I can get this celebrity to come do this. And I'm like, no, I can make a bigger impact and show more passion. We're doing it
Yeah.
by myself.
Yeah. Yes. Because
So,
sometimes they're just there.
yeah, we're gonna leave that another note.
Sometimes they're just there. So thank you for your obedience. I love you. I love you. I
I
love you.
love
And
you
again, like I
too.
said, I'm gonna do whatever I can to push and send people, let people know, come support
Thank
it. I
you.
am just so excited to see you. I'm excited that you. I mean, I didn't know it was a degree that you even got for mental abuse. Like that is so. It's so needed. They suffer so much. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you're
You're
welcome.
sacrificing. You're right. You're the hills. You are sacrificing right now. So I love you and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you.
I love you too. Thank you for
Have a good
having
night,
me.
everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Jay. Bye.